Now that cannabis is legal on several states, why aren't weed offenders freed from jail? To answer your question from an American legal perspective, if something is illegal, then it is a crime to do it. If it is legalized to do so, you still have to finish your sentence because you broke the law before it was legal. Regardless of how recently the law changed, they still committed a crime. It also works vice versa, meaning if you do something today, and tomorrow it was outlawed, you cannot be charged because it wasn't illegal at the time. Laws are effective by date, not circumstance. For another example, older cars made before seat belt laws are not required to have seat belts because the law was not in place when they were made. European here. It's built into all European constitutions that when a law is passed that is less harsh than the previous, or if legalized, everyone can appeal no matter when they got arrested. Really weird that you don't have that pensive face. I read somewhere that the following scenario is common in the USA. Someone is arrested for a crime, e.g. burglary. His home is searched, and cannabis is found. However, before the trial comes the plea bargain. Proving his big crime can be difficult. However, there is no doubt about the cannabis. So the prosecutor drops some of the bigger charges. The criminal confesses to possession and spends a year in jail, instead of 2 or 3 if he had been convicted for the big crime. So a lot of people who are in jail ostensibly for possession are actually serious criminals who got a plea bargain which was convenient for everyone. I don't work in the system. I don't know if this is true, but it is wise to take official statistics with a grain of salt. They still committed a crime when it was illegal. Retroactively applying a new law is its own thing. When I worked in jail, people usually came in with more than one charge. For example, possession of weed and criminal mischief. If the only charge is carrying a personal use amount of weed, that's usually a citation, unless on probation or parole. Now if you are talking prison time, that would have to be a larger than personal amount of weed. Where I worked, jail is a profitable business like bail bonding. It's entirely illegal in the federal level, so no change there. Most private prisons have contacts that require the prisons to be like 80% full at all times. It's really disgusting. The prison industry runs on human suffering. Because at the time they chose to break the law. The law changing doesn't change that fact. Because changes in laws aren't automatically retroactive like that. Big prison. Changing a law doesn't automatically absolve those who broke the same law. I'd still have to pay a speeding ticket if I went 80 in a 60 that was being switched to 80 next week, for example. Some places have chosen to forgive minor offenses, but because of the way the justice system works, that's much more complicated than it would seem and has to be case by case. Things like plea bargains. We'll only charge you with possession and criminal mischief if you plead guilty and rat out the guy who led the robbery. Lowering charges of people who shouldn't be released because the crime was worse than the final charges, and on the opposite side, people whose only crime was simple possession but some amplifying factors like being near a school or having a gun in the home made the charges much worse. First off, weed being legal doesn't mean you're free to be a weed dealer on the streets. Those are two completely different things. Most people in jail for weed now isn't for simple possession. It's for distributing or violent crimes associated with weed, robbery, etc. Illinois has retroactively expunged about 500,000 marijuana possession cases for less than 30 grams. https ABC7 Chicago.com/Illinois marijuana Pritzkeril /9253750 It is still federally illegal, meaning it is still technically illegal in all 50 states, and can be enforced by federal bodies like the DEA. Your conduct is judged according to the law at the time it occurred. The inverse case actually benefits you. You can't be convicted of something that was legal when you did it but was made illegal later. I believe that Oklahoma let a bunch out. If it was the only conviction and was clearly personal use and not distribution. It seems to me that it's not so much about the weed, as it is about the perpetrator's violation of the law when it was in force. Even if it's legal now, it wasn't when that person knowingly violated the law. They committed the offense at the time when said offense was illegal. Because it was illegal when you did it.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.